Alright. 0019. Minor Arcana. So we're going to start with cups. I don't know why I went with cups first. I was honestly writing things down. It just wound up that way. So let's hop into it. Ace of Cups, initialization of the emotional center. Now, this can sometimes indicate new loves, new beginnings, new emotional satisfactions. Remember, one being sort of that starting point and that satisfaction point. We're finding things coming into a hopeful point, a possibility point. We're applying our best selves. There's the hand offering the cup, possibilities being kind of laid out there. I've always appreciated the wafer above the cup, representing sort of the body and blood of Christ. There's an element there representing sort of the divinity and the holiness of love itself, trying to find that satisfaction of peace and comfort. This is usually just sort of touching in on that supreme satisfaction of love, that overflowing capacity of emotional connectivity, as well as new possibilities, new beginnings of love where possible. Two of Cups, interactions of a heartfelt nature. Now, this doesn't always have to be a romantic nature. Some people do definitely get a connotation of that, and totally all the power to them. It's more important to notice that there's sort of a difference in the garb and the presenting of the two people. They are of different backgrounds, different walks, different identities. They have different stories and different creeds and different natures. And so the energy here is more so engaging in a understanding of the family of humanity, recognizing that we can be brothers and sisters even if we come from different places and share our cups back and forth in whatever way we want to. And if you want to take that to mean more of a romantic love, by all means, hop hard. But if you just want to take it as a brotherly, sisterly, or just as a connecting with new people of different backgrounds, it is a good energy for that as well too. Energies of healing and working with doctors comes up with the snakes and the lion's head. There's a truthfulness in communication and big affairs, big events sometimes comes with this as well too. Getting out to meet new people at, say, galas or trade shows and things of that sort. Three of Cups, the sisters dancing, the collective of sisterhood being a satisfaction of women coming together for understanding and bonding and purpose. The three witches working together in a close function, and the three witches dynamic is a wonderful one to find all throughout history, art, literature, and everything else. There's a power when you have those girls that you can celebrate and encourage in your development and growths together with. And the more they come together and the more that they celebrate their capacities, the more they're going to change and modify the world around them on large scale and large format. The ladies have so much to celebrate. There's good joys, good news, good excitement, good things are kind of in the works right now. This is usually a card that comes up when people are sharing news about new births, new lives, new jobs, and things like that come into play. That outpour of celebration from the heart. Satisfaction, feeling, hey, I've accomplished this, I'm good, I'm happy. Happiness being sort of a core tenet to the three sisters coming together. Now then we get a little bit of a mood shift. The Four of Cups enters into sort of a surfeit apathy kind of dynamic, absorbing into the three cups that he has in front of him and not focusing on what's being offered. Now sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. What's being offered is not healthy or not what you're looking for, then absolutely there's good reason to reject it. But if you're rejecting things simply because you don't feel like stepping out from under your tree, notice the crossed arms and sort of the resigned and withdrawn nature of the person, then maybe this cup is actually your way of getting out of your funk and into a good, joyful state. Recognizing that sometimes we do get locked into certain mindsets and certain patterns of behavior. This is one way that we can kind of look into our heart and decide, are we just wallowing in the suffering that we feel there, or are we actually trying to find solutions to help us move forward and advance away from the pain and the suffering that we feel on a daily basis. Five of Cups, still sort of in that same element of absorbing into the wrong thing. See, the eyes are on the three cups that are spilled over, but there's two cups right behind the person that are doing just fine. Why do we focus on our losses when we still have things to look after? Why is it that the death of a family member overrules all good things that may have happened in the course of a year? Ultimately, emotions are of great pain and great burden for us, but we need to recognize that those emotions are being poured out into new things and new bits. Notice the little bit of a green just underneath the cups there. There's new life, new beginning, new process coming in just underneath the cups. That is, the emotions and the pain that you're feeling now is going to allow for new things and new growth to happen. So let yourself feel what you are feeling, but recognize that there is going to be good that comes out of this as you expand your perspective and move forward out of the pain and into the positivity of the world around you. Life's heavy with this one. Get a massage, talk to good friends, pull away where you can. But this is definitely a rougher one for a lot of people, so bear with. We're going to flip-flop for a second now with the Six of Cups. Betterment, tenderness, innocence. I love this one. Honestly, this is This is the cute kids that are just like, oh, I kissed them on the cheek. Maybe not the situations that happen down south, but we'll get, wow, going off to a tangent there. It's about finding that innocence in yourself. It's about finding that better nature of yourself, that inner child, connecting with sort of that lost memory of self. What is it that made you feel the most innocent and curious and serene with experiences within the world? There's an excitement in the heart that can only be felt in a certain way, and this is trying to tap into that energy as well too. Bashfulness that may come out or that may be engaged with. A personality of just wanting sweeter times and tender times. Nostalgia being a very, very strong energy on that one. Some people will tell you that the Seven of Cups relates towards someone violating a relationship and cheating on you. I will concur with that assessment. I do also think in grander respect, it's more anyone pulling wool over your eyes. It could be a business person that's being mischievous. It could be a police officer, an authority figure, a family friend. It doesn't always have to be a lover that's screwing you over, but 9 times out of 10, a reader sees this come up, they're going to make some comment about your relationship status. And whether it be that you're not trusting future relationships because you're wrapped up in the past, or whether it be because you're in a situation where you're going to get fucked over, well, it's just going to need to be addressed at some point. The thing is, you've got so many options and so many things in front of you, sometimes it's hard to see what's really going on. It's hard to see the truth. You got to ask, what is really being looked for here? What is it that I really want to apply for in myself? Each one of these things may be a falsehood, it may be a lie. Do I really want to invest all my time into a lie, into something that is not truly meant for me, that's truly not going to satisfy me, grow me, or improve me? 8 of Cups. Now, the key element to notice here is the 5 cups on the right side. Well, you're right, my left maybe. And then the 3 cups on the other side. 5 against 3. 8 is an even number. Why isn't it divided 50-50? Well, because people aren't letting it be so. The sun is shining, but the sun is muted. It looks more like the moon than it does the sun. There's no excitement, there's no joy, there's no satisfaction. There's many people that know this, and this isn't depression. This isn't anxiety. This is straight up surrender in a lot of ways. You cannot see the satisfaction, the joy, or the fairness of the situation, and because of such, you're letting yourself be overrun and destroyed by the people that are around you. Be really, really careful if this one comes up. Best thing to say is, this is what's fair to me, this is what's fair to you, let's find our nice happy 50-50 or whatever the balance is going to be, but start moving yourself towards where you find happier events. If you're around a bunch of friends that are always demanding more of you than they're giving back, flip the table and get out of there. Get finding people that are going to give you what you give to them. If you put in 100 hours, they should give you 100 hours. And if you're not getting that fair exchange of time and effort, there's no point trying to hold on to something that your heart's never going to be satisfied with. 9 of Cups. Fulfillment, satisfaction, contentment. Fat bastard's got his shit right where he needs it to be, and he is comfortable with the way that things have gone. Typically, the arms crossed is usually a sign of tension, but there's a difference between crossing your arms up here, crossing your arms right here. Actually try them out every now and again. Get yourself a feel of where your arms feel differently, and notice a smile on this man's face. He's got his stuff figured out. You know what your answers are. You know what your solutions are. You need that confidence in yourself now to really keep that energy moving forward and flowing towards the right dynamic of goals and dreams for yourself. Everything in this is supposed to be about that satisfaction and enjoying that moment of satisfaction. Fulfillment is a beautiful thing that most people don't let themselves experience often enough. 10 of Cups, completion of the emotional core. You have the family, you have the community, you have the joy. Everything's come together and it just feels just all right, like a rainbow in the sky. This one is, again, peace, joy, happiness. It can have a family value kind of core dynamic. It's really important to look at what other cards come down around this card. And we'll talk more about patterns at a later point when it comes to the tarot section. But ultimately and truly, this is really, really good blessings to show overarchingly things are going to be moving in the right flow, the right dynamic, the right growth towards positivity. Now, there are 4 suits. Page of Cups. Feminine energy. Why feminine? Because you are learning, you are growing, you are receiving. This does not mean that you are a chick, this does not mean that you are a dude. I do not like chancing using these to say gender because at the end of the day they're about the energy of the identity, not the physical body. The page is learning, the page is growing, the page has a cup given to them, but they're so awkward about it, it's like they're kissing fish. They don't quite know what they're doing with themselves. So they need to go through those experiences, they need to accept more wisdom, they need to accept more opportunities if they want to get out of sort of that weird state of self-consciousness and a little bit of a fishiness to them. This is a hopeful energy, but quite often it's one of those ones where we're kind of like, oh my god, I don't want to watch this train wreck crash. But come on, we were all 15, 16, 17, 18 at one point, you know, we were all kids. Eventually, you want to get good enough that you can offer your cup to somebody. This is where we get to the level of the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups has a little bit more posture, a little bit more presence. They know what they are capable of and what they can give out into the world, and they're now reaching out into the world to share that. You'll notice with the horse, though, there's sort of not a hesitation, but a cautiousness, watching where it's going and being careful with the steps. This one requires a certain emotional evolution, that you're not just throwing your heart into situations that you know are going to get you hurt. You got to be smart with yourselves, guys, and this one's supposed to remind you of that energy where possible. You are usually the one doing the forward motion with this, though. You are the one putting the idea of connection out there. You're the one taking your cup and offering it forward, and it's a matter of making sure that you're offering it to the right people that you are most keen on. Queen of Cups, mother energy, can sometimes relate towards pregnancies, typically relates towards an emotionally well-suited female that understands the ups and downs of the human heart, can express things in a way that's very good at taking what words you have given them and helping you to understand what it is that you're really struggling with. This isn't a person that so much gives you advice, as this is a person that sort of gives you that comfortable environment to work in and work around. They give you a state of place where you just feel like you're sitting on the edge of the water and everything's just peaceful and calm. White witches. My white witches, you'll usually show up as a Queen of Cups, simply because there's a nurturing capacity that cannot be found in any of the other queens, that you will generally only find with this energy here. Whether that nurturing capacity is met, though, that's what has to be kind of found. See, they know what they're capable of and they know what they're offering. We, as the receivers of that energy, have to be respectful of it. King of Cups, very wise, very mature. Emotional maturity and emotional communication are paramount at this stage. The capacity to kind of say what they need to say without hurting people intentionally and without putting things down as insults, attacks, or offensiveness. The energy around the King of Cups is usually very influential. There's a political nature or a counselor nature or a healer nature, sometimes a priest nature that comes into it, but they're usually community involved in some level. But it's not so much business and commerce as it is civics and enterprise of people. Typically more well-dressed, well-thought, well-rounded, quite often married, fathered, and very established in relationships. I don't find King of Cups are usually ones to waffle or shake very often. Typically when they've shown up, they've been concrete.